In my head, I'm already painting the picture. You know, we're going to buy the White House. We're going to have 2 kids. One's going to be named Andrew. One's going to be named Sophie. The story is rolling at this point. We're going to another bar. He was like holding me, and he's like taller than me. He's putting his hand in front of me when I'm crossing so I'm not being hit by a car, because obviously he cares about me so much, right? He's just met me, so he cares about me. Why wouldn't that be possible? I don't understand. The movies said that it's possible, so it is.
2 seconds later.
And then he ghosted me. Surprising, because I don't really understand. I mean, he was in love with me. We did not end up buying the White House, and we did not end up having 2 kids, one named Andrew and one Sophie.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to the desert. I'm Puss, happy to greet you here. How are you all doing? Guys, before we get started, on our Patreon today we've posted a Manosphere tier list ranking. So if you want to see Taylor and some of the other most famous content creators, come join us now for the humble price of 1/15th of an overpriced Starbucks coffee, and you can see that video as well as many other exclusive videos, and you can also support the channel. Now guys, with that being said, waiter, can I please have the usual? Oh, thank you. A woman over 30, single and childless, talking about her dating L's on TikTok. So let's have a listen, guys, and for article story, we'll cover a single mother that is devastated, annihilated, destroyed because of her singlehood, and also a woman concerned with the vast amounts of single childless women. Now guys, let's get started.
Story time. So I go on a date with a guy from Hinge. We meet at this bar where I take all my dates. We, you know, sit down, have the conversation, get a few drinks going. I think it was a bottle of wine, actually. And this woman randomly comes up to us and goes, "Oh my gosh, you look so good together." In my head, I'm already painting the picture. You know, we're going to buy the White House. We're going to have 2 kids. One's going to be named Andrew. One's going to be named Sophie. The story is rolling at this point. We're going to another bar. He was like holding me, and he's like taller than me. He's putting his hand in front of me when I'm crossing so I'm not being hit by a car, because obviously he cares about me so much, right? He's just met me, so he cares about me. Why wouldn't that be possible? I don't understand. The movies said that it's possible, so it is. At the end of this evening, after we'd gone to about 2 pubs, he asks if I want to go and join his mate's birthday party, at which I say, well, I'm just a random girl. I just don't want to like show up. He said, no, don't worry. I mean, like, my friends want to meet you. Honestly, at this point, this guy is feeding my role. Like, it's just feeding it. Like, the movie keeps rolling and rolling. It's like a series at this point. I'm like, oh, like, now he wants me to meet his friends, because obviously he's in love with me. I mean, why wouldn't he? We get there.
Obviously, guys, the only thing obvious is that this man is attractive. It's the only obvious thing here. So this woman is 30, guys, and she's a hopeless romantic, right, as they like to say. She just loves a romantic story. All she cares about is that deep, pure love, right? According to her. Yet it begs the question, you're such a hopeless romantic, why are you single over 30? You know, have you really never met a man that was interested in you and wanted you to meet his friends and, you know, took care of you when you crossed the street? Supposedly, guys, she's never met this man. This is the first one. Yeah, sure, that's how it went. A lot of women, guys, if you didn't know, are kidnapped by evil wizards and locked in towers, in basements, in jails, and this is why they never meet these hundreds, tons of men that are overcrowding the world and cities, and they're asking these women out constantly. You know, all this massive endless sea of simps that we have that are willing to provide for these women, they have never met them, and that's the reason why they were locked in a tower, and they're just emerging out of there now. And this is apparently the first guy she met that wanted to do that. Is the only answer I can provide.
I sit at this table with all of his friends. He introduces me to them, and he gets up to buy me a drink, and he says to them, take care of her. And honestly, I mean, I've never felt more taken care of, because my dad was emotionally unavailable. So I was like, this is the dream. I've met the one, and I guess, you know, I'm gonna be married. He sits next to me, brings me my drink. Inside of this bar, there is a live jazz gig. So he goes,
I'm gonna pause it before she continues with the jazz gig. How many times, gentlemen, I gotta ask you this. How many times have you gifted a woman flowers? Have you taken care of her? You know, have you been concerned with her well-being? How many times have you seen your friends, acquaintances, neighbors doing the same thing, gifting flowers, gifting chocolates, doing nice things, doing romantic things? And how many times have you seen them fail miserably? Right? I'm not saying that every time a man does that, a woman should marry him. No, I'm not saying that. I'm just saying that, hey, I know these tons and tons of stories and tons of men that are being traditional, that are gifting all those things, that are being chivalrous, and yeah, they don't get crap, all right? Women don't go after them. They don't take all that providing and all those things they cry and they say they want. No, they go for the bad boys who happen to be tall and attractive, coincidentally, and who happen to be bad boys, who couldn't care less about them. So just, please, stop trying to sell this story that, oh, there are no chivalrous men left around. And apparently all the bad boys I've dated in the past that resulted in nothing more than just a situationship, yeah, the only reason I dated them is because I'm a hopeless romantic and they were romantic and chivalrous. It's just, it's not how it is. It's not reality. Stop pretending, damn it.
There's a live jazz gig, so he goes, do you want to go dance? And I'm like, yeah, of course. So we go into the crowd and he's like holding me from behind, you know, and he's taller than me, so I'm like keep turning around and he's like kissing me, and his friends come around and they say hi to me, they want to hug me, they're interested by me. One of the girls was like, I'm having this birthday party at my house in 2 months, I want both of you there, let's exchange numbers. And at this point I'm feeling like Hannah Montana. I am feeling like the chosen one. This is the best date I have ever been on. Like, I found the one. I then go home, tell everyone, including my flatmates, that it's been the best date ever. And if it's the best day ever, I mean, how could this guy possibly not be in love with me after he's taken care of me, held me so I don't get run over, right? All these things that, like, the movie's going, like, the woman said to us that we look good together, it's supposed to be. The next day I get up, I'm delusional, the delusion's still going, like, I'm in love, I'm getting up, I can't sleep, I can't eat, so I'm going to a coffee shop to get myself a coffee, and I'm lactose intolerant, and never in my life have I forgotten to say that I'm lactose intolerant, and I buy myself a coffee, and this coffee is with normal milk, because guess what, I was so in love and so delusional that now I am drinking this coffee and risking my health for the day because I'm in love and because I'm thinking of this guy. Like, I mean, how could he not be in love with me after he's told me all those things, right? How could he not? Story goes, I see him one more.
Okay, first off, why are you lactose intolerant? Guys, we're tolerant to lactose. Didn't see anything wrong with lactose, to be honest. This woman just very lactose phobic, if you ask me, you know. Second off, we have 30 seconds left of this video. Can you guess, guys, what is the outcome? Did this man, A, continue to being chivalrous and she's now married, or B, sleep with her and get out and close the door behind him? What do you think happened, guys? Now, we all know, and the reason why is because it's so easy to trick these women. Like, it's not really tricking them. You're not promising anything, you're not lying to them, you know. It's just so easy to trick them when you are attractive. If you are not attractive, you can be chivalrous and you can do everything that this man did. And she'll say, oh, he was too clingy, you know. Oh, he was a bit annoying. Oh, it's our first date and you're already treating me like this. I'm not your wife, you know, the eek and all those things. So when it comes to women, guys, it boils down to, are you attractive and tall or are you not? And then every behavior can fall wherever.
More time, and then he ghosted me. Surprising, because I don't really understand. I mean, he was in love with me. Anyways, the point of this is that if you are being this delusional, it's okay. Just think of this story. If you're going through any delusions with men, think of this story because it cannot be more embarrassing, okay? We did not end up buying the White House, and we did not end up having 2 kids, one named Andrew and one Sophie. I thought all those were green flags. They are not green flags. They are very red flags. And the guy can write a book. He can write a book on how to be a F-boy. If a guy tries to hold your hand on the first date, run.
Yeah, guys, you don't need a book. Okay, the book is just 1 page and it's be attractive. That's it. That's all it takes. If you're tall, attractive, you have muscles, you have a good jawline, good facial hair, it's all it takes, guys. There are some chats that they don't even try. There are some chats that are straight up obscene with these women, and they still spread their legs. Some other chats, they like to be fancy, you know, they like to take these women to a dinner, whatever, meet their friends, you know, play the whole act. And yeah, they will dismiss you. They just don't care about a woman that is in her 30s. And they are smart about it, you know? Like, you meaning to tell me that for 30 years you couldn't find one guy who was interested in you to commit to? No, these chads know what you are about. These chads know that you've been sleeping around, and the only reason why you like them is because of their status. That's it, their attractiveness. So I don't think nothing wrong with this guy leaving. I mean, she sees this guy as a walking ATM machine and as a happy, I don't know, dummy puppet that they can possess. She views the ring that she wants as more status, and he views her for a body, you know, an S3X toy. It's an equal exchange, really. But now, gentlemen, enough with this woman. Let's move on to our articles. And as mentioned, the first one is about a single mom. I hope I don't regret this. Why is it such a bad thing to date a single mom? I see so much content here on Reddit and other platforms like TikTok, even the talk about how horrible it is to date a single mom. One post stood out to me so deeply. It was from the perspective of an older single mom who was almost berating younger moms and telling them they should not be trying to date and that they need to be alone. I have recently been very hurt by someone I trusted and have taken a huge step back from trying to date. I have even taken a social media hiatus as well. I'm committing to 1 year of just focusing on my life. Prior to this, I definitely had a strong desire to meet someone while my child was still young. Not for money, free childcare, or whatever else I see a lot of people accusing single moms of searching for. I wanted my child to have a father figure he can always look up to, and when he looks back on his life, once he's an adult, he'll say, my father was always there as long as I can remember and is a real father. So she mentions, guys, that she doesn't need financial support, not for money or free childcare. So does that mean that you will date a bro guy who you will support? Is that what it means? Because I don't think you will, to be honest. So you may not do it mostly because of money, but I think we are wise enough not to pretend that money is not a huge core pillar of why you're looking for a man. I make good money. I have support and childcare covered. Yeah, probably from her ex-husband who she kicked out of the family. I'm doing really well in life, so I don't have selfish motivations for finding a partner. I want love. I want a real partnership. Why didn't you want that with your first husband is my question. I understand there are a lot of challenges come up with dating a single mom, especially one with full custody. I'm just really struggling to understand why there is so much animosity around single moms. Is this the algorithm playing me? Is it, excuse me, is it not that bad? So let's check some of the comments, gentlemen. One here says, I personally just don't want a child in my life. Yeah, you don't want a child in your life, but what about a child from another man in your life? Have you considered that? It's a huge responsibility to date someone with a kid. If you're dating to get married, you'll be the stepdad. And as a stepdad, you should be loving that kid as your own. That can be tough for some people. Yeah, I'm not saying it's impossible. I'm just saying that there are a lot of cases that these kids, especially if they're grown older, they just don't respect you. They never see you as their father because, I mean, in the end, you're not, right? Look, I'm not saying it's impossible. It's just too much struggle. Another one says, I'm only speaking to my experience. I don't know every single mom on earth. I'm sure some are not like this, but I can only go with my experience. Every single time I've tried to date a single mom, there is little accountability on their part for their relationship. They will have horrific schedules and randomly cancel and reschedule, and you can't be mad because they use the blanket excuse of it's for the kid. I already deal with enough flaky women who waste my time without kids. I simply don't have the patience to deal with it because, fine, it's a legit excuse and I'm the bad guy if I'm annoyed at never getting time with the person I'm dating. Another one says, I don't agree with any hate or animosity, but from a practical perspective as a man with no kids, there are zero benefits and significantly more challenges when dating a single mom. It's just not worth it. This is the most liked comment. 740 people agree with it. And that's really what it boils down to, right, guys? I honestly have no problem with single moms dating single dads. You're both divorced, maybe you both have children of your own. Even if you don't, you're sort of in the same boat, you know. But it's crazy for a single mom to expect a single dude who's never even been married to commit to her and take care of another man's child. Right? I just don't see that right, guys. And these single moms, like, the reason why we make so much fun of them is because most of the times they put themselves in that situation. They kicked a man out of the family unit, and now they tell you, yeah, I mean, I totally screwed my ex-life, but hey, why don't you become my next boyfriend at risk of me doing the same thing again and trashing your life as well? But well, I won't do that, promise. You know, even though I broke my promise in front of the altar and I broke my vows, but hey, come on now. You know, it's just so risky, guys. It's just not worth it. When you can go for someone who doesn't have children, why would you put yourself in this situation, you know? And a lot of these single mothers, guys, they're not like these women that say, all right, I understand my situation. I understand that a lot of men wouldn't want to deal with a kid. No, a lot of these single moms, guys, they are very, very entitled women. They think that they still deserve that 6 feet tall giga chad that is extremely attractive and masculine and single and has all those things to provide, even though they are on the overweight side, have kids and are no longer youthful, no longer have time, you know. But guys, let me know what you think about single mothers. Now let's move on to our last rate story. Is anyone else getting scared about the statistics of people ending up single and lonely? I've seen a bunch of recent studies saying the younger generations are doomed because of isolation and dating/society changes. Do you believe this is true? Like this one. According to a recent study by Morgan Stanley, it is projected that by 2030, approximately 45% of women between the ages of 25 to 44 will be childless and single. So there you have it, guys. The dating scene has changed so much, more than it has ever did in the past. It's changed exponentially. And at this time, when we discovered and started using the internet, is when we most needed some values to have. Now, this is the time where we most needed fathers and mothers to be part of the family, to teach their kids accordingly. This is the time where we most needed a backbone, a moral backbone, you know. Yet this is exactly the time where we didn't have that. A lot of single mothers, a lot of children without fathers, a lot of broken families and divorces, and you have the societal narrative that, well, sleeping around is so empowering, and you have all these women, guys, that now women have always had options historically. Now it's just insane. They have so many options. They get constant attention and validation from the internet. They no longer value men. They no longer can see what's worth in men. They can no longer distinguish between men who can provide them with a future and men who can provide them with just S3X and then dismiss them. Like, they really don't distinguish between good and bad men. Like, it's hell, guys. It's hell. And I absolutely believe that by 2030, this is in 5-6 years time, approximately half the women will be single and childless. I very much agree with that. In fact, I think the percentage is going to be even higher. I'm surprised that at this point it's not that way. But well, you know how it is. You probably live in the USA, Germany, Western Europe, wherever you may live, gentlemen. If you're in the western part of the hemisphere, I think you can already see this to be the case. And it's not going to get any better, let me tell you. But the only thing we can do, guys, is wait and maybe find a woman that is worth it. If we don't find a woman that is worth it, just let them sink this whole ship, you know. Women have fought for the ability to choose and being independent and freedom and all that. Well, congratulations. I mean, now you have it. Now you are the one steering this ship, and what are you doing with it? You're doing shit. That's what you're doing. You're crapping all over it. You're crapping all over the ship and then sinking it all together. This is what women have done, guys. They wanted their independence. They wanted this and that and the other thing. We want to be equal. But okay, now you're equal. What are they doing? They're working their miserable office jobs, most of them. A lot of them decide to be prostitutes on OnlyFans. A lot of them devalue their bodies. by sleeping around, they become street workers essentially. You know, they decrease their pair bonding ability, they increase their STDs, they increase their entitlement. This is what they have done with all the freedom. We gave them this freedom and the whole world was watching them. Let's see what you're gonna do now. You know, more women in STEM, yada yada. I don't see more women in STEM. I see more women on OnlyFans. You know, so I don't think this leadership that has been granted to you is really working out well. But well, gentlemen, what do you think about those two interesting article stories? Let me know what you think down below, guys, and I'll be happy to see you next time. Please interact with the video as the algorithm is quite punishing, and come join us on Patreon. I'll see you next time, guys.